Imagine accepting a job where almost everyone before you had died doing it and you still showed up the next morning. Not because you were brave, not because you wanted adventure, but because saying no meant starvation. This wasn't a battlefield. It wasn't a prison. It was simply going to work. Before we uncover history's deadliest job, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories hidden in the past. When people think of dangerous jobs, they usually picture soldiers, firefighters, or deep-sea divers. But history hides an occupation so deadly that entire families dreaded the day their sons were chosen for it. Picture this. The year is the early Industrial Revolution. Factories are rising across Europe, cities are growing overnight, and demand for coal has never been higher. Coal-powered homes, trains, ships, and giant machines that changed the world. But there was one problem. Someone had to go underground to get it. Not hundreds of feet, sometimes thousands. Every sunrise, miners squeezed into tunnels so narrow they had to crawl. The air was thick with coal dust. Their only light came from tiny lamps that barely pierced the darkness, and every strange sound could mean death. A crack above, a sudden rumble, then silence. Or worse, an explosion. Deep underground, invisible methane gas collected inside the tunnels. One tiny spark was enough to turn an entire mine into an inferno. Survivors described the blast as sounding like the Earth itself had exploded. But explosions weren't even the biggest killer. Many miners survived the cave-ins, only to slowly lose their lungs. Year after year, they inhaled microscopic coal dust until breathing became a struggle. A disease known as black lung robbed countless workers of the simple ability to take a breath. Many died years after leaving the mines, never truly escaping them. And if that wasn't heartbreaking enough, children worked there too. Some were barely 8 years old. They spent up to 14 hours a day opening and closing ventilation doors in complete darkness or dragging heavy carts through tunnels too small for adults. For many families, sending a child into the mine wasn't a choice. It was the only way to survive. Imagine being that child. No sunlight, no fresh air, just endless darkness, and the constant fear that the ceiling above you might collapse before the day was over. Yet every morning they went back, because hunger above ground was often just as deadly as the dangers below. The coal they pulled from the earth fueled an industrial revolution that transformed the modern world. It powered factories, railways, steamships, and entire nations. But that progress came at an enormous human cost. Millions benefited from the energy. Thousands paid for it with their lives. The next time you flip on a light switch or ride a train, it's worth remembering that much of the modern world was built by workers who risked everything beneath the ground. History often celebrates inventions and empires, but it rarely remembers the ordinary people whose sacrifices made those achievements possible. And perhaps that's the greatest tragedy of all. So, what do you think? Was coal mining truly the deadliest job in history, or is there another forgotten profession that deserves that title? Tell us your answer in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into history's darkest stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next story might be even more unbelievable.